Hey y'all, am I on? Okay. Hey y'all, this is Tyler Blake with tylerblakeart.com, and this is, I want to say, my second video in my Beyond 100 Days video series. I am in the process of figuring out how to do lettering right now. I, you know, I had mentioned in the past that I dabbled with Photoshop in high school, and I just really wasn't having very much fun with it. So I eventually, for a while I felt like pressured to, do that because it was like the new thing that was coming out, and that was like right when you were starting to see comics go to like digital colors. And it was like, this is the new modern thing, everybody's going to do this. And after a while I was like, you know what? I don't have to do that. I don't have to do anything. So I'm just going to do what I like to do, and that's to work traditionally. And that's no offense intended or no judgment on people who work digitally. I respect y'all. That people do some beautiful work digitally. It's just not my thing. So anyway, now that said, I am doing the letters digitally. Part of that is that I want to print this comic and some other projects. I want to check out the printing partnership program with Alterna Comics. And I was reading on there that you have to have the letters as a separate layer, and you have to send it as a Photoshop file. So what does that mean? That means you have to do stuff in Photoshop. So I've had since I don't really do hardly anything digitally. When I've needed to do any kind of editing, I've used GIMP because it's free. So I've had some T-shirts made of some of my illustrations where I needed to have the transparent background put on. So and because my handwriting is truly atrocious, sometime I'll write something and show y'all what my handwriting looks like. One time when I was in high school, my mom was like, "How come you can draw that well, but your handwriting sucks that bad?" So, just the idea of me hand lettering anything is the possibility of that ever happening is remote. And since I need to work in that format to use the printer I want, then so be it. So I went ahead and downloaded the most basic version of Photoshop the other day. Special thanks to Scott Green for answering my questions about which plan is right for me. Anyway, so I've been looking at whenever I need to learn how to do something with computers, I go to YouTube and watch tutorials, or for that matter, if I need to learn anything. Like I've actually been kind of half joking for years now that if we want to balance the budget, we could just replace the education system with YouTube. And I'm not talking about like the snarky comments and things, but I learned how to cook on YouTube. There's so many. There's just like home improvement projects. You can learn how to fix your car. I'm not saying if it needs to go to a mechanic and be hooked up to a computer, that's probably what you need to do. But you can learn how to change your brakes or your oil, or there's so much free information out there that is just at the as far away as a keyboard, it's kind of a matter of just having time to take it all in, and so you just kind of have to pick and choose, like, what's the most important thing for me to be studying right now. So anyway, for me, that is how to letter. So I also want to say special thanks to blambot.com. They have, if y'all aren't familiar with Blambot, it's, I want to say the guy, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's like Nate Diekos or Dakos. So if you ever see this and I butchered your name, I apologize. But he has a lot of really great looking fonts on his website, and a certain number of them are free on the licensing for indie creators. And the way he has that structured, he says even if you're gonna do a Kickstarter and sell this and make money off it, if you're an indie creator or a small publisher, I don't care. That's fine. Go for it. But if it was like Marvel or DC, Dark Horse, IDW, he would charge those guys, and that's really helpful for those of us who are just getting started to have that resource. And also, I mentioned this before, but Scott Serkland. Also, if y'all haven't checked it out, Scott over at Serkworks Art Labs has his free comic making starter kit, which he gives away for free. Although I'm not using his fonts because they don't have the right tone for a dark medieval fantasy kind of comic with a sword fight. But the word balloons and the text boxes were saving me so much time. So thanks, man. Yeah, I think that's it for now. So I get maybe I was gonna do a video on Friday and I was just overwhelmed. My wife and I are getting our house ready to sell right now, so I'm in crazy town. But I'll do a video this Friday, and maybe I'll print out like a test page that I did with the word balloons in place. So here what I'm doing is so I've got the image scanned and I'm messing around with where the text goes and what size should it be and all that, just so I can kind of see, because I want to go back and add in some more background stuff in these panels. But I don't want to put a bunch of work into it if this is all going to be covered up and this is all going to be covered up and this is all going to be covered up. I don't want to, over 8 pages, I don't want to draw a bunch of stuff that you won't see anyway. So I'm going to go through the whole thing with the placeholders in it, just so I can see where I still need to add background information. And then I'll do that and color it and come back and actually do the final letters last. So, but yeah, it was really frustrating at first, and I'm a technophobe, so like, sitting through a Photoshop tutorial isn't the greatest thing ever for me, and I guess I have a short attention span and stuff like that. I'll be like, squirrel. So anyway, that's about it, and I'll print out the test page and try and show, like, speaking of being a technophobe, I'll see YouTube videos where people like segue between, like, they're speaking to the camera shot and showing what they're working on their screen, and I have no idea how to do any of that stuff. So I realize I have like the most primitive videos ever, but late down the road I hope to figure out some video editing and maybe do an intro, polish these up a little bit, but for now this is what I'm going to stick with, just as a matter of how much time I have available. So that is it. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.